Welcome to DEMOCREPUBLIX, where we cover the real news that matter to we the people. As you know, the memo released yesterday, Friday, and I was looking at some of the mainstream media and see their take on the memo, and a lot of the mainstream media have been downplaying the memo and acting like there's nothing really going on, like, and especially when Comey came out and tweeted that's it, and then you had like Rachel Maddow downplaying it and acting like it's really not that big of a deal, when in fact it is a very big deal. First, I want to go to DEMOCREPUBLIX.com on my website, where I did a little write-up. I did a little write-up on the memo, put a little bit of my perspective on it. So we'll go here to the memo. I'm just going to read it here really quick. The secret memo release showing no FISA warrant without fake dossier. The White House on Friday agreed to release the highly anticipated memo asserting that the Justice Department left critical facts out of an application for a surveillance warrant against a former Trump volunteer campaign advisor. The almost 4-page memo, which was written by the GOP on the House Intelligence Committee, says that the FBI and DOJ knew that the disreputable Steele dossier had been funded by the Clinton campaign and Democratic National Committee when the organizations applied for a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act warrant in order to surveil Carter Page. However, that information was omitted from the September 2016 application for the warrant. The memo also states that the FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe told congressional investigators that they would not have been granted the FISA warrant against Page if it had not been for the dossier. The campaign and the DNC's law firm Perkins Coie hired opposition research firm Fusion GPS in May 2016 to get opposition research on Donald Trump. Fusion then hired former British spy Christopher Steele to investigate the Trump communications. And I'm gonna set up a link where I actually read the whole memo for those of y'all who haven't read the memo. And let's see what some of the mainstream media have to say about the memo. On CNN, focusing on what they said number 2 here on CNN.com. It says the dossier didn't start the Trump-Russia investigation. The Nunes memo focuses on the dossier's use in the Page's FISA warrant, but the memo also undercuts his own argument by noting that the FISA application also included information regarding Trump campaign foreign policy advisor George Papadopoulos, suggesting that there was no intelligence beyond the dossier. I'm just gonna stop right there. This is not the main point of the art. They're trying to make the argument that the dossier wasn't the reason behind the FISA warrant. So what made them look into this whole Russia thing anyway? In the collusion, they're trying to basically make it like none of this stuff ties together. Like the whole thing had to do with George Papadopoulos. Like. But let's go see what at WorldNetDaily.com former Attorney General Ken Cucciolini III told WorldNet Daily and Radio America. One revelation stands out above the rest. So let's see what he has to say about the whole thing.
A few more quick questions before we let you go here, Ken. You mentioned the Democrats looking for other things. A lot of Trump critics are pointing out that the memo in its final paragraph also reveals the campaign was under federal surveillance before the dossier was used as evidence in FISA court, specifically that George Papadopoulos, who is now facing some federal charges, or actually pled guilty to false statements, was being investigated 3 months before the Carter Page warrant was issued. They say that shows there was already a legitimate investigation going on, and you cannot conclude that the entire Russia investigation is based on this questionable dossier. What's your reaction to that?
Well, again, I think that you can expect the Democrats to try to expand on that. But Papadopoulos looks like a guy they grabbed and threw at the table for when they were being attacked for not having foreign policy people. And look, I was on the Cruz primary team at the time. We were hitting them hard on the fact that they didn't have anybody on policy matters anywhere. And so their reaction was to quickly throw that stuff together, and one of those people they threw together was Papadopoulos. I don't think you're ever going to see anything else come out of Papadopoulos. He couldn't even get his emails returned up through August of 2016. So the notion that he is significant in any way is really, based on what we know now, looks silly. I mean, this is genuine conspiracy theory stuff. And the only reason it's treated as more respectable is because the media wants to. And they do it for the same reason they were all covering Donald Trump so thoroughly in the primaries, the Republican primaries, ratings. I mean, that's what's driving the coverage.
One of the things the Democrats have done here, I just saw that Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the two whips have put out a letter essentially to the president saying we think this is all partisan, and the fact that one of these FISA requests was made by the current Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who oversees the...
I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. So basically, Ken Kusalini basically was saying that Papadopoulos was only working with the campaign because they was talking about they didn't really have any foreign, they didn't have any policy advisors or anything like that. So that's just someone they just basically just snapped up and threw in there so the media can stop talking about that and using that as a talking point. So he really, like he said, he really didn't have much really to do with Trump and his team really. So to say that they had evidence of him, they used him to collude with Russia and stuff like that, or that's what they use him to start this investigation is totally untrue. The investigation got started all off of this dossier. Even McCabe even admitted it in testimony. Let's see how MSNBC Rachel Maddow downplays the whole thing.
That's it. That's all they've got.
Look at
this is what all the hype was about?
Look at her.
For what is it, 2 weeks now they've been hyping this? You know, I hyped that I had Donald Trump's tax returns, and then I clarified that I actually had 2 pages of Donald Trump's tax returns for 1 hour before I actually released 2 pages of what actually were Donald Trump's tax returns. And for a year now, people have been telling me that was unconscionable hype about Donald Trump's tax returns. But you know what? At least those actually were Donald Trump's tax returns, even if they were boring in the end. Sorry. This was 2 weeks of this memo is going to end everything. This memo, have you heard about the memo? Hashtag release the memo. This memo will make Donald Trump innocent. This memo will put Robert Mueller in jail. It'll abolish the FBI. The Justice Department will have to rename itself the Donald J. Trump and Family Private Security Task Force. I mean, I can't believe this is it.
Well, Rachel Maddow, that is not it. As we found out from Nunes that this is just phase 1. They got more stuff to come on how they got bringing up more stuff later on about how they used this fake dossier information to investigate Trump and how the people within the Justice Department and the DOJ and the FBI, how they all worked together to try to take down Trump. Way back when he was just the Republican front runner, they started all this, and I think that's some of the proof that Nunes and them is going to be bringing the light soon. But let's hear what Nunes had to say about it.
But you know there are some members who are using this to question the Mueller investigation. Are you separating the two?
Well, I think what's happening is I think the mainstream media and the Democrats are tying this to the Mueller investigation because they're trying to perpetuate this nonsense of obstruction of justice because they've left the Russia collusion issue. They know there was no collusion. And you know, I've been saying this for a year now that there was no evidence of collusion.
Are there other
and
memos?
So now you fast forward.
Are there other memos
Brett.
that are going to come out? Are there other memos? You said this was phase one.
Yeah, so this completes just the FISA abuse portion of our investigation. We are in the middle of what I call phase two of our investigation, which involves other departments, specifically the State Department and some of the involvement that they had in this. That investigation is ongoing, and we continue to work towards finding answers and asking the right questions to try to get to the bottom of what exactly the State Department was up to in terms of this Russia investigation.
Quickly, Mr. Chairman, some people have called you a Russian agent. Others have said you should be fired. The barbs today on cable TV were pretty amazing. Your thoughts in dealing with all of this in the job that you have?
Yeah, it's actually quite enjoyable because we have the underlying facts. We've been investigating this for a really long time. So you know that you're over the target when you're being attacked from all sides.
Mr. Chairman, and we have to leave it there. The computer's going to cut us off.
That's awesome right there. That's a great point he made. Because they're really coming after Nunes, because he's going after this, and Miss Maddow, no, that is not it. That was just phase one. So she's gonna have egg on her face again, because they keep getting this wrong, and they're downplaying it and trying to discredit all this information that's coming out right now. And they don't want the people to have the information. That's why they was fighting the first memo. And no, it's not it, Miss Meadow. It's more stuff to come, and I can't wait to see that egg on her face. Let's check out another thing about the FISA memo from Fox News.
Then there is the memo, and then the fallout on stocks and us as a result. Obviously, you've heard already that former FBI Director James Comey, not a fan of what happened today. He goes, that's it, dishonest and misleading memo, wrecked the House Intel Committee, to destroy trust with intelligence community, damage relationship with the FISA court, and inexcusably exposed classified investigation of an American citizen. For what? DOJ and FBI must keep doing their jobs. Let's get the read from.
See, they're circling the wagons. They're all coming out being like, "Wow, I thought it was going to be a lot more," and this is not really proving anything. Well, it is proving something. It's proving that the FBI went before the FISA court with a fake dossier claiming that Trump was doing all this and they was using this information against him to it could undermine our president with the stuff that he was doing in Russia, and Russia have all this stuff on him, and come to find out this whole dossier haven't been verified, come out is a fake dossier. And what they said they used to verify, they had two things to verify the document. They had Steele confirming the document, and then they said it was the second thing that confirmed the document, which was an article from Yahoo News. But Yahoo News is the same information that was in the dossier. So it's basically they're using circular reasoning. They're using the dossier to verify the dossier. And they didn't let the courts know about this. And they also didn't let the courts know that Steele had a hatred of Trump. And he had an ulterior motive, and he wanted to take down Trump. And they should have let the courts know all of this. It's basically showing that they use fake documents to spy on an incoming president. And this is a big deal. It's a very big deal. And I can't believe the media is trying to downplay all this and make it like this is not a big deal. Lastly, we have an article here from The Hill. The memo's firestorm over Russia probe intensifies. Another, they're pointing out some more of the Democrats in the mainstream media trying to downplay the information like it's really not a big deal, when in fact we know it is. The Hill goes on to report the release of the Republican memo that alleges misconduct at the FBI and Department of Justice has thrown fresh gasoline on the firestorm over the Russia probe. Democrats and others skeptical of President Trump fear a new push to oust Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein or hinder Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Mueller is investigating allegations of collusion between Russia and Trump's 2016 campaign, as well as the possibility of obstruction of justice. Rumors Trump will fire him have been joined in recent days by speculation that Trump might also fire Rosenstein, or the FBI Director Christopher Wray could quit over the memo's release. I'm gonna stop right here. I don't think Trump is gonna fire any of them, because that's just giving weapons to his opposition. He's gonna let all this play out, and like Nunes said, this is just phase one. They're acting like this off of phase one. I can't wait for them to see phase two. Let's read some more of this. Democratic strategist Robert Shrum condemned the memo as obviously a piece of political propaganda that omits significant facts. But he added of Trump, I would not be surprised to see him fire Deputy Attorney General or try to fire Mueller. They keep drumming this up. They want him to fire him, because then they'll try to use that as grounds for impeachment, I believe. So I don't think Trump is dumb enough to do something like that. Back to the article. Republicans who are supportive of the president insist that the memo has provided clear evidence of political bias against him, which it does, even though some of them express qualms about how hard Trump should assert himself in the aftermath. What remains to be seen: does the president let public outrage take its course, or try to use this as a blunt force instrument against the ongoing investigation? Use one of the sources close to the Republican Party. Meanwhile, Republicans skeptical of Trump have registered their disappointment at the remarkable spectacle that has played out in recent days. The White House overruled a warning from the FBI and DOJ to allow congressional Republicans to release the memo. And here we got McCain here. It's the usual suspects. In a Friday statement, Senator McCain hit Trump and his allies for looking at this investigation through the warped lens of political and manufacturing partisan sideshows. McCain added, if we continue to undermine our own rule of law, we are doing Russian vitamin Putin's job for him. But my question is, what did he do that undermined anything? He didn't do anything. All they did was Nunes looked at a document that showed the bias. He wrote a summation of the secret document, got approval to release the memo of the secret document, the summation of the secret document, and we looked at it for ourselves, and we can clearly see the bias in the FBI. We see the bias in the DOJ, and I think it's a bombshell out there. It's going to be in phase two. Let's see. We got Representative Paul Gosar from Arizona, a conservative Republican, said in a statement Friday that the memo accounted to convincing evidence of treason on the part of the FBI, which I agree. They went after a sitting president with fake information, basically drummed up information. Former Representative John Dingell, a liberal Democrat, tweeted that congressional Republicans are quite clearly complicit in the White House's effort to undermine and obstruct justice. How are they obstructing justice? Please tell me. He said, lock every single one of these bastards up. Wow. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, whose staff wrote the memo that was released Friday, suggested more revelations could be forthcoming. And we talked about that. I can't wait. So let me know what you think. Do you think that this memo is as big as I believe it to be, or do you think it's really nothing there like the mainstream media is trying to suggest? Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Click that like button. And check out DEMOCREPUBLIX for the latest in news. Till next time.
We live in a alien nightmare. We live in a alien nightmare.